Hello everyone, welcome back to the ethics classes. Today we are going to move to the second class of the ethics, and here we'll be learning more about the ethics syllabus. But before beginning this class, let's do one small story of J.R.D. Tata and his friend and the value of pen. So this story is when J.R.D. Tata tells us that he had a very good friend, but the friend had one very bad habit of losing his pen. He used to keep his pen and then forget it where he has kept it. Then one day what happened? So he used to keep a very cheap pen with him. Like बहुत सस्ता पेन वो अपने पास रखते थे क्योंकि उनको डर रहता था कि पेन खो जाएगा. So one day JRD Tata asked him to purchase a very expensive pen. So he agreed with that and he purchased one of the very expensive pen. Then after 6 months when JRD Tata meets him, he asked, still you are losing your pen or still you are not able to remember? He said, no. Now I value my pen a lot and I always keep it with me. So the moral of this story is very simple. The things we value, we'll always care for them. And things we do not value, we'll never care for them. So if we value our health, we will be careful for it. If we value our time, we will be careful for it. It's only things that you value, you will give time. You will always ensure that the things are with you every time and you will be very careful for the things. So let us begin today's session, which is also about values. It's time that we learn today about ethics. We have learned what do you mean by ethics. Now we have to move on to other part, that is values. So if we begin with the values, first thing that we have to remember is all ethics are value, but all values are not ethics. So you have to start it from this thing that all ethics are value. जितने भी ethics होते हैं वो values होते हैं, but सारे values जो हैं वो ethics नहीं होते हैं. ये चीज बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है क्योंकि एथिक्स इज अबाउट राइट एंड रॉन्ग बट वैल्यूज डिपेंड ऑन एवरी पर्सन. एथिक्स इज लाइक अ नॉर्म, एक नॉर्म है जो आपको हमेशा राइट और रॉन्ग में बताएगा, बट सम पीपल वैल्यू समथिंग दैट माइट नॉट बी वैल्यूएबल फॉर सम अदर पीपल. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, कुछ लोगों के लिए मटेरियलिस्टिक थिंग्स आर मोर इम्पॉर्टेंट एंड फॉर सम पीपल materialistic things are not important, happiness is important. So it all depends what you value. Like we just heard the story of J.R.D. Tata, right? Now moving on, the definition of value, again we have just discussed the same thing in the first class, that कि आपको हम will explain, but a proper definition you have to search and make your small notes on it. So it's simply one's judgment of what is important in life, one's own judgment, one's judgment of what is important in life, of what is important in life. For example, if I'll say for some career is important, right? Or for some family is more important. Some people run over the career and some people just sacrifice their career for the families. So it's only what you value. It might be wrong, it might be right. So values are something, they are definitely one thing that helps you guide or motivate your action. They simply motivate your actions, because if you value something, then definitely you will move in that direction, or it will give you a guidance what you have to do. Okay, so I can say these are simply your, a very layman term may we can simply say that these are some kind of principles or ideals. Okay, now we come to some examples of values. If we talk about the positive values or values that are really considered as ideal, it could be like your charity, empathy, helpful nature, sympathy, cleanliness, right? And if I come to certain values, if we talk about orthodox people who would have valued like church in the your old history of Europe, there were some values that were valuable for the church, but in real sense or in scientific terms, they were not important. So we can also talk about negative values like patriarchy, still a value. In even we cannot say that this is value only in India. It is almost, you can see, in whole part of the world. Patriarchy definitely exists. Then you can say as hunting, it was considered as symbol, status symbol at the time of princes and Maharaja, right? Or child marriage still happening in Rajasthan. So these are also values for the people. So now it is all ideals, principle. A person who is born with something he values more. For example, again, we can come on the one more thing is dowry. Still in many families, like I would not want target any caste or something, but today also there is a it's a marriage market. If a boy is very good or working there or something, they will ask a heavy amount of dowry. They will not look whether the partner is correct or not, whether is understanding respect or not. Just what matters is money. This is the sad reality. Today, if someone is into very good job, their family would expect, भाई 1 crore रुपए तो मिलेगा ही मिलेगा हमारा लड़का इतना अच्छी जॉब कर रहा है. So it's all that. It's a marriage market. It's a true reality and a sad reality. So now we can move on to the importance of values. Why values are important? Like if we'll say, if we'll talk in the layman terms, what do you mean by values? Certain kind of your ideals, right? If you respect your values, what you will have? You will have a self satisfaction within yourself because you are doing something that you value more, right? You will also, if you are valuing the ideals in principle, you will gain a self respect from yourself, and this self respect will definitely help you gain respect, right? Then if we move to other thing, that why it's important, it definitely is also important because it helps you in your decision making. Just now we discussed that it guides our action, it motivates our action, it's also help you in decision making. Okay, these are some points why importance of values. But if you'll brainstorm, then definitely you will find many other points that why values are important. You can just take one value which is very much important to you, and then you can brainstorm it. For example, for me, cleanliness is important. Okay, this is one of the value. So if how it is important to me and how it is helping me. Cleanness, definitely my health will be good because I'll be cleaning my surroundings and everything. It will definitely reduce the burden of other people, health burden, because if we maintain a clean hygienic foods or everything, your mm, roads are clean and everything, it will give you eyes of beauty. So it is almost like you can think from the definition of individual, society, nation and international. So you can write everything till the time you're able to justify your answer. Write everything, just justify it, because the beauty of means is you can write anything within the concepts and you are able to justify your point. Okay, now we move on to second topic, which says about the characteristics of value. What are the characteristics of value? That is how you can what is exactly value? The characteristics is simply something like how can you define value? So it's something, values are something that transcends the object, situation or person. It's, if you value something, it does not matter. It simply transcends. You transcend it, objects, person, situation. That means no matter what the object is, how the person is, what is the situation is, there are some values that you will never ever um, go against them. For example, if you have a value of kindness, right? So if you are kind, no matter what is the object, what kind of a person is it, what is the situation, you will be valuing your kindness above anything. Okay, so it's like this thing, it transcends everything. And it second characteristics is value also depends on the intensity and content. Intensity is means how much important that a particular value is to you, how much importance it is, how much important it is. And third thing is your content. That is, what is exactly your value and is it really important or is it really a worth it? For example, if you value your time, you will not waste it into the things that you seriously do not value, right? So it's like something. Um, And again, if we talk about the values, then we have a theory of Maslow hierarchy or self actualization, where the things are into the hierarchy. So values might be in a hierarchy also. How you can say they are in the hierarchy? Like for example, in the initial level, when you just came out from the college, what will be a more valuable for you? A job plus me money, right? When you find enough money you are making, then the thing that will be money will become secondary, and you will be looking for something that will give you that will help you to satisfy your inner urge, right? Right, for example, if I will give you here Cisco, it gives its employee a flexibility to help people or plant trees, help people plant trees, certain social activities. It even help to, it asks its employee to help the people who are from now the cyclone victims. And in here, your hierarchy also, I would like to just give you the example. I exactly do not remember it. You can just R&D it. There was some nurse group from one of the state who helped a lot during the COVID time. So it's like this. And Maslow's hierarchy, and we will just definitely remember for the values, is your COVID time. This was a time where we would like to salute our hospitality industry, our sorry, not hospitality industry, our doctors, surgeons, even nurses, and the people, sweepers, everyone from this medical industry. We have to salute them, and definitely our nation, which instead of looking for the money, has exported the vaccine to almost, I cannot remember exact numbers, but almost 100 nations, and it saved life of million of people. Yes, saving a life of million of people means saving the life of many families, because you saved the life of the bread earner. So it's like something at this time, had the doctors valued money over the life, can you just imagine what would have happened? This was a thing that was really valued by some of the vaccine makers who were just looking for the patent. But no, India as a nation did not look for that. India as a nation just looked for the purpose of inventing the vaccine so that it can help its own people as well as many countries who cannot afford this expensive vaccine. So you have to write some points. You have to bring your inner out. And values, one of the characteristics is also that sometimes value changes with time. Value definitely changes with the time. इसका सबसे बड़ा example है patriarchy or child marriage. So definitely these are the things that changes with the time. Okay, now we'll move to other things. uh, if we want to give some example of values, you can just give like loyalty is definitely a value, accountability, right? And all these things are also values. Now I will request every student who is just looking into these classes and really wanted to make their ethics more stronger, I just want you to do some R&D on topics. This is kind of your homework. You have to do some R&D on the topics, which is your accountability. Accountability, I'll just give you the meaning, like one who is answerable for the consequences, the one who could be held answerable for the results that we get. Okay, you have to analyze what is accountability, how you can use them in the case studies. Okay, the other thing is rule of law. Though you have studied in the polity, and it is article 14 also, and it is also one more thing, that rule of law is something that you cannot punish under anyone until and it is punishable in the law. But no, you have to do some R&D how you can use it to the person who has given this theory, and everything. You have to just write down some keywords with you. You have to write down some keywords with you. This should come as a handy to you while you're writing your maze. They will come handy to you because these words will add value. लाइक इट्स लाइक एग्जामिनर, आप एग्जामिनर के पर्सपेक्टिव से सोचो, उनको इतनी सारी कॉपीज चेक करनी होती है, अगर उस आंसर में आपने सिर्फ कीवर्ड्स हाईलाइट कर दिए, दे विल बी लाइक या इसके आंसर्स बहुत अच्छे हैं, वी विल गिव द मार्क्स. सो it's like this thing. So you have to make certain dimensions, keywords, and a small crisp note, which will definitely add value to your mains answer writing. Now, another very important topic that I missed before might be is the dimensions of ethics. It is also one of the topic in your syllabus. Now we will read what are dimensions of ethics. Okay, so dimensions of ethics are metaethics. Okay, applied ethics, descriptive ethics, normative ethics, prescriptive ethics. Okay. Now, beginning with meta ethics, these are very basic ethics, which means what is right and wrong. Applied ethics simply just go with the name. Applied ethics means how you're able to apply the ethics, how you apply ethics. You can just take the example of bioethics. Are you seriously applying, looking at the cases of Patanjali, or if sometime case was there on the Patanjali, if I could remember it, blurrishness. Yeah, in the blurrishness, they are not paying, using the local knowledges, but not paying them. Okay. Or descriptive ethics, the ethics where you are these are kind of how you describe your ethics. What is how you describe it, this is right and this is wrong. It's this thing. Normative ethics are something which are based on norms, right? If I talk, norms are simply unwritten standards. Everything cannot be written, na? Some things are unwritten and understood. Now, coming to your prescriptive ethics. This is something which we will go more deeper because it is deontological, virtue, and teleological. Okay. So, deontological is something where you focus on means. Virtue is like the highest moral standards you follow, and teleological, you focus on the ends. Here it says means matter. Here it says end matter. Like you can say happiness of the numbers, or what is the ultimate end result. For example, for someone, dam is very important because it will give you electricity and everything, but it does not look the means of just displacing the tribal people. And here it will just look at the means also, because it says that importance, individual dignity is also important, self-respect is also important. You cannot take individual as a means to achieve an end that is helpful to more larger people, but it will, if disrespect even few people, then this is not something which is very good. Okay, so now again, these your ontological and teleological. Here we have to dig down into the theories of Immanuel Kant and Stuart Mills. So we'll discuss later their theory. Definitely we'll discuss what's their theory. Now we'll move to other part of the syllabus where you had ethics in public and private relationship. Now I will just request you one thing, like we are covering the first part of the syllabus. So I want you to go through just last 5 years paper, or even if you have time, just go through last 2 years papers. Okay. You will find that what we are reading is not exactly asked. But yes, what we are reading will build your foundation and basic. Now these knowledge will help you answer the questions. But just remember that you have to answer the question in your language. You have to quote the examples. That is very much important. Until and unless you don't quote the example, the marks will not be very good. You have to write from, like, your, just open your heart while writing ethics and essay. Okay? Whatever you feel, just write it till the time you're able to justify it. Now, we had discussion on some things like accountability, loyalty, right? In the just before that. Now we'll just discuss in the public and private relation. Suppose some person is considered as lovable, but what if he is lovable in the society and the same person is very harsh towards his family? So there is some difference in the public and private, right? So it's like we can simply say that in the ethics in the private relation are more to individual centric. For example, if we talk about private relation, these are like loyalty. Though loyalty is definitely on the national level also, you should be loyal to your nation. Or you can simply say informal, more informal. They are private relations are more dominated by your own feelings, right? Your emotions. And if we move to the public, ethics in public, they are definitely formal because you have to follow the rule of law and you're not at all wrong into this. Okay. Then you have certain rules, respect. So, like in public, में हम बोलेंगे तो these are little more what to say, like more formal based, more diverse, and more bigger. In private, though they are shrink, the values are shrink. But if we look from the broader origin, the same ethics are also applicable in the public life. Okay. For example, if a person who is kind to the people, if they are running an NGO, then they will definitely listen and have the highest sense of compassion towards the people. Right? They will have a compassion towards the people, and this feeling is definitely developed if you are empathetic and sympathetic towards your family also, towards family, right? So this is something compassion will be shown in your public life. So definitely how you behave in the small group of people will affect your presence in the public also. Like if here I would like to quote the example of one of the movie Kho Gaye Hum Kahan. Imad. He just said that I did not reveal any of the thing that happened to him just because people will judge him and will leave him. Right? So he was different in the public and in the private. But the reason for his this nature was something that happened to him. That was a childhood trauma. And this was a also thing that we also discuss, or we do not discuss. I do not remember right now. But it's very important that we ask our childrens or youngster to open their mind, to open up their mouth, their mind. They need to talk. Very key is need to talk. Today people are all alone. People are all alone. Reason being, just now we discussed ethics in public and private. You might be having thousands of friends on the social media, but you not be having any real friend with whom you can talk and discuss something. And if you have even one, then you're very lucky. You're very lucky to even have one. So it's like we see like people are suffering from anxiety, depression. It's because they are not able to get a mental satisfaction. Mental health is today more important because it affects your physical health also. So it's like ethics in public and private relationship. It's like people might be showing themselves on the social media like influencers or everything. In public media, you're totally different, but in the private relationships, you will be seeing they're totally different. So it's like a sad reality. Now, moving forward with these things, um, like ethics in public and private relationship, I just told you that how you are in the public, you will definitely have effect on the private life, and it might be possible that two things are different. We discussed the critique on that, but the positive is if you value something in your public in the private life, you will value definitely at the public life also. For example, someone who has a respect for the woman will respect them in their public life also. Someone who is orthodox for their family will not like the laws which are more modern views, which have the modern views. Okay. Or you can also like critique we discuss. You can also give the example of Taliban regime, how they are in the public and private, right? Or you can also give the example of Chanda Kocher here, Chandra Kocher, the scam of Videocon. So these are the some things that you have to remember, and you have to take ethics from all perspective. You have to give positives, negatives, and then you have to give your opinion. Your opinion is important. No matter, don't go for the balancing act that is like safer side. Now go for more stronger approach and write your own opinion. So uh, these are something, if you value the same things and these are ethics you value same in the public environment, they will definitely give you a harmony, sense of harmony in the your social world or your national world. Now we have to talk about certain types of value. Okay, what are the types of values? Types of values are personal values, social values, core values that will never change no matter what are the things, peripheral values, some values which this is like your core and these are peripheral which develop around your cores. Okay, then your terminal values, the end value, what you will value at the end, and your instrumental values, the values that you will use to achieve your terminal values. Okay, so what's your homework in this is, I have given you the explanation. I would like you to brainstorm first, do your brainstorming first, and then do some R&D and take some examples on them and just write down in your notes. So if you are making notes along with this video, what you have to do, this is your A4 side paper. You're writing here notes and just keep this side blank. So here you can just add all the values and just keep it very short and crisp, because ultimately you're going to write 150 words or 250 words in your exams. So it's better that you remember these words instead of writing everything, because you cannot write everything. Okay. Now we will talk about value conflicts. What are the value conflicts? How two value can be conflicting? We talked about it in the earlier in very starting also. Some values are positive and some values are negative. The biggest discussion of today's world: nepotism versus merit, Bollywood, right? Or even the corporate world, where until and unless you do not have jack, you cannot get a job. Now moving to other thing is region versus your nation. Here we would like to quote Tagore, who said, I will just value the I will not value the patriotism above the humanity. Okay. Then comes your environment versus development, right? Then migrants versus national security. killing versus self defense. Okay. Marriage versus career. Okay. Now, we will discuss something. It's like there are certain values which have to die down. And definitely they have to die down because today we are into the modern world. Like slavery, untouchability still exist. One of the contestants on the Indian Idol um, platform said that they are not allowed to drink the water from the same pond from where people are allowed to drink, other people are allowed to drink. Manual scavengers still exist in some of the Rajasthan towns in many places. These are something which are shown in the news that's where we remember. Now we're moving to the last topic of today's class, that is sources. We are keeping the classes short because I want you to know the foundation of the syllabus. What are the basics of the syllabus? I'll give you each and every dimension of the syllabus, but you will have the foundation basic. But for making your own notes, I want you to do some R&D because ethics paper is like you can read many things, but ultimately UPSC is asking very different today. So if you're able to brainstorm and think and you develop this practice from now also, then you'll be able to write very good answers in your mains. That's my promise to you. So now we'll be moving to the last topic, that is sources of values. Okay. Sources of value, again, these are same like sources of ethics: your family, your friends, your colleague, your educational institutions, curriculums, economy, capitalist versus socialist, your teachers, a role model, your peers, observation, how you observe, like gender biasness. Some people see it at their family level only. Okay. Society, role models. These are something that gives you the sources of value. Sources of value that is everywhere same. Sources are everywhere same. So that's all for today's topic. It's values and everything. I want you to brainstorm on the topics I told you and just search for a small definition of one line so that you can write it as the introduction in your answer. Then you have to start with your body of the answer where you will be defining all the questions asked, and at last you will be writing the conclusions. And in ethics, just try to also make some good examples which will help you fetch good marks. Okay.